Street where it's a $12 thing, yeah, instead of a $40-50 thing. So there's always something that, but then again, I'm at the same time, Craig, I'm like, but dang on it, don't I freaking deserve Netflix?
Can I live? You talking about can I
do anything?
You
Because
know,
every freaking penny.
That's true.
is going to
Adulting is
live.
hard. Adulting is hard. There's no question. And we have to do what we have to do. So what was the name of the lady who disagreed with me?
Lisa.
Okay, Lisa, well, I'm talking to you directly. No matter what, we have to look at our life and we have to ask ourselves what we want our life to look like. You know, and for those of us who are living a hand-to-mouth existence, and I did it. I was in the military for a long time. I didn't make a lot of money. I know exactly what that's about. But I always had side hustles because I do like the idea of being able to take my wife out for tacos on Taco Tuesday and doing things that are important. So this is an example. I'm not a poor person, and because I've planned ahead with my life, but I still have an active side gig that I do, a side hustle. And I think I talked about this a few episodes ago, where there are side hustles out there where you can make some decent money. You just have to teach yourself. My wife is a very successful actress. She knows Cinda. We're in the business together. And Larissa is very well known around Chicago, but she augments her income by doing live events, whether it's corporate events or doing private parties. This past weekend, between Larissa and I, we did private parties. We face painted kids at festivals. You know how much money we made this weekend together?
How much?
Almost $1,400. Because we taught ourselves a skill that's marketable. So, you know,
so you're out there painting too now?
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's no shame in earning a living however it is that you do it. I always said during the credit crisis, when people weren't working, I would work as a garbage truck worker. I'd work doing anything. And there's a nobility in being able to look at your life and assess it in a way that says, I'm not where I want to be. What am I going to do to get there? And we all possess the ability to examine our lives objectively and recognize, I'm not where I want to be. Where do I want to go? How am I going to get there? Can I do it on my own, or do I need somebody to coach me? If you want to do things to make extra money, they are out there. There's another friend of mine. She makes balloon animals. She makes these giant balloon sculptures for corporate events. She gets paid between $100 and $150 an hour, and it's turning into her full-time job. She does it so much. Now, I'm putting this out there for people to understand, because those jobs exist. You know, you may be working full-time and you may not be getting where you want to go. It might require you working a part-time job for 20 hours a week and saving every penny that you make, because the money that you make with your regular that you're just squeaking by, that's great. That's paying your bills. But what if you were able to devote 10, 15, 20 hours a week to a side hustle, and you were able to save everything?
So
you're
Craig,
making $200 a week and you put that all away for a year, you've got a sizable nest egg.
So
it comes down to self-determination.
So you're saying, do what it takes to save the money now, work hard, do your side hustle, and then you can spend it later on once you make it, once you put all you can into making extra. So save all you can, and then later you can live.
Right. So here's the thing: when you're saving, when you're doing that kind of work and you're saving money, you're still going to be broke, but you're going to be broke with savings. What would you rather be, broke or broke with savings?
Well,
you know what? That's funny. Broke with savings. You came into my head. I made a purchase that cost money, and I wanted to do it on credit so bad. And all I kept hearing is, if you got the money, you should use the money. And that was you. You said it, and I was like, I did save the money for this particular purchase, and I was like, but I want credit. I'd rather spend credit than my hard-earned cash money. But I ended up paying the cash for it, the money for it. But that was you in my head. And really, I'm at the store like, he said, spend the money. Am I right? You said spend the money. Don't use credit.
So am I like a little cartoon bubble above your head everywhere?
It was like, it was credit, money. You got the money. No, but credit is better. You got the money, credit. I mean, it was just like that. So I ended up, it took me days. I didn't get it that day. I was like, I got to come back. I had to really think on it. And then I spent the money that I saved, because throughout this time I have been saving, because you said save, but I spent the money, but now I miss my money.
Well, there's an alternative to this. So we always recommend that you pay off your credit card bill every month, because interest that you pay on your credit card, whose money is that? Is that yours? No, that belongs to the credit card company. So use your credit, build up your credit rating, but pay it off every month.
Yeah, like an American Express every time.
Yeah, pay it off every month.
Oh, you mean, so you could use credit, but just pay it off?
Yeah. It's important. So it's really important to have good credit.
My credit's not good. I discovered that my credit's not that good.
Okay, well, you need to fix it, and I can give you ideas. If you want to talk to me privately, we can do that.
I do. I discovered that I don't have good credit, and I had A1 credit.
Right. So here's the thing with credit: when you have good credit, that gives you the ability to borrow money as cheaply as possible. Would you rather borrow money at 2.5% interest or 20% interest? Again, it's a no-brainer. But the only way that you're able to do that is to maintain a good credit score. And there's ways that you can improve your credit score in a relatively short amount of time. So
one of the things that I learned, I know DJ Kid Disco has something he wants to say, and I want to let him do it. But just on this note, what someone told me back in the credit card days is they're like, make sure that you have like $100 debt on that. So you're growing your credit, but you pay it every month. Anything you buy, use it like an American Express. Right. Say you want to keep your credit growing. So go buy your groceries. You have the money, but buy your groceries on credit and then pay it off.
And then pay it off.
So your credit is growing and getting better, but you're not getting in debt and giving the credit card your money.
Right.
You're just using it like a credit, like an American Express, building your credit, but not getting in debt.
So here's what you want to do, everybody who's listening. You want to get your credit score above 720. Above 720. That's your magic number. When you have your credit score above 720, that's going to enable you to borrow money whenever you want at the cheapest possible rate. I just talked to another person, wanted to refinance their house, but didn't have good credit. Now, if you have good credit right now, you can refinance your house at like 2.25%, 2.5%. But because this person's credit score was like in the low sixes, the interest rate that was offered to them was 6%, which was several $100s a month difference. So as adults in our society, we have to realize, credit reports stink. They do. But when we go about this in an adult way, and we do it in a way that's beneficial to us and our loved ones and our families and ourselves, it allows us to keep more money in our pockets that can benefit the people that we care about. It's something we all have to do. It's a reality we all face.
DJ Kid Disco.
Yeah, what do you got, DJ?
I want to come at a whole nother angle.
Okay.
And I'm being the hood devil's advocate right now.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I hear what you're saying about financial planning, but I make $10 an hour. So we're not even going to talk about that right now. My financial planning is how am I going to plan to eat lunch every day at work? How am I going to plan how to get car fare to get on the bus to get to work? So we're not even going to talk about financial planning right now. Okay. Let's put that. Just an everyday guy goes to work, earns $10 an hour, and come home tired.
Mm-hmm.
But because I just had this conversation the other day where somebody said to me, I don't have money to waste. No. Like you said, and I said the exact same thing you said. If you smoke, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, and I told this person, you have money. So when you say, I don't have money to waste, usually people that say, I don't have money to waste, usually never have money to spend. So how does an everyday Joe like myself that punches a clock what are the good apps or the bad apps as far as investing? Because what I've seen now, these apps for these stock apps and everything are tailored for the everyday person. So how does a person get into that? How does a person use what little bit that they have to survive on to get themselves? Because you're talking about refinancing homes and things and getting loans, and that's all well and good. But I'm just the everyday guy. I live on the ninth floor of the projects.
I'm gonna say a good 70% of people are what he's talking about. So
There's no question. So let's talk about the things that you absolutely must do first before you start investing.
How do I get out the projects? That's really where I'm going with this.
Yeah, we don't want you in the projects. We want you living a safe and happy and fulfilling life in a place where you want to be. So there's just a few things that have to happen before you start investing, because investing involves risk. And a lot of people, they have this idea like, if I invest in the stock market, I'm going to make a quick hit and I'm going to make all this money, which is actually the furthest thing from the truth. Successful investors do it really diligently and they pay attention to what's going on in the markets. But successful investors also do a few prerequisites first before they do any of those things. First thing is you've got to be out of debt. If you got debt, that's not your money. You've got to pay off the debt. It's got to go away. Once the debt is paid off, then you need to start paying yourself. When I say pay yourself, every time you get money, 10% of it goes into a savings account. Once you have enough money in the savings account, that becomes your rainy day fund. We talked about this earlier. The transmission on your car falls out. Your roof starts leaking. Your dishwasher stops working. You've got the money to pay for it without going into debt. Okay? So those are the things you need to do. You need to be out of debt and you need a rainy day fund. The other thing you need to do is you need to contribute and max out, if you can, your IRA, your SEP, your Roth, whatever it is that you're doing for retirement. If you're 50 years old or over, you can put $7,000 away into an IRA.
But I work at Dunkin' Donuts. I don't have an IRA.
Then you can do it on yourself. A 401k is through corporate. An IRA is something you can do individually. You can set it up on your own with as little as $500 at a company like Schwab or TD Ameritrade, any of those places. And that will enable you to not only plan for the future, but depending on your tax bracket, give you a break on your taxes. Once you do those three things, no debt, rainy day fund, max out your retirement fund, then you can start investing. Now, before you start investing, you need to be sure what you're trying to do. If you're going into investing with the idea that you're going to day trade, or the idea that you're going to somehow make a lot of money by whatever investments that you've got, that's not the way the markets work. People are looking for a lot of money and a quick hit in the markets. You're taking on enormous amounts of risk, and your risk of losing that money is far greater than making that money. Disciplined long-term investors are the ones who succeed. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, you're asking about apps to do this. The biggest app that people use right now is Robinhood. You can make trades on there, and I believe they're very low cost or even no cost in many circumstances. I have a small Robinhood account, but I typically use my TD Ameritrade account to handle my Roth IRA and handle my discretionary stock account. And then I also have a substantial amount of money that I've invested in my 401k plan from previous corporate employers. And this is also important to understand for those of you who are working for a corporation. If you work for a corporation, generally speaking, they are going to give you matching money based on what you put into that retirement account. And that is free money. If you saw a $50 bill blowing down the street, would you chase after it? Yes, you would. It's the same thing with your 401k plan. If your employer is offering you free money, you need to do everything in your power to be disciplined and sacrifice to put in as much as you can to get as much of that free money as you can. because that's going to come in handy when you're no longer working.
But again, I'm a cashier. I work at Dunkin' Donuts. I get $8, $8.25 an hour. They don't offer me nothing.
Okay. Are you talking you personally or just talking hypothetically?
Just hypothetically.
Okay, hypothetically. So for those of you who are out there earning low amounts of money, we have to realize that your position or your station is temporary, and your position is only temporary for as long as you're willing for it to be. How much do we want to do to change our station in life? And how do we do that? How do we change our station in life? The number one answer is through education. There are opportunities out there to make a lot more money than being a cashier at Dunkin' Donuts, of course, but we have to ask ourselves, if we're completely content with the way things are in our life, we will never change. The magic happens when we step outside of our box and we say, this cannot stand. This is where I am now, but next year, I refuse to be in the same place. Next year, by this time next year, I will have been online, doing online collegiate courses, trade schools, whatever it is. I don't care what it is, because I want to turn that $8 an hour into $25 an hour.
Man, I'm 40-something years old. I'm too old for that. My dreams are gone.
No, they're not. Statistics show that in people's lives, we have 4, 5, 6 different careers. And I'm one of those people. Cinda's one of those people. I'm sure that Shelly Shell is one of those people. I had a long military career, right? You did too, right, DJ? You had a long military career. I went into the advertising business. I had my own advertising agency that I built from the ground up. When the credit crisis hit, that went away. Then I went into the financial business. I went back to college in my 50s to learn the financial business. And I worked for a big financial company for 8 years, and I did very well. And I'm still in the financial business, but now I'm also making movies. I was the artistic director of a theater company. That was my side hustle. I made money directing and producing theater. We all have the ability to do things.
Craig, I'm gonna butt in because we're at the half an hour or past the half an hour. We want to bring our guest in also.
Okay.
So thank you so much. There were comments, a lot of comments about black and white and economics and stuff like that. And I just want to answer that. I'm not letting Craig answer that. Yes, we are. Yes, we do have our difficulties. Yes, there is a discrepancy between people of color and people that are white. There are, but it comes down to a choice. It comes down to what's important to you. It comes down to the changes you want to make. It doesn't matter what color you are. Yes, we have all those things. My father was what had us in 3 jobs. My mother had a job and we barely ate. And they worked their tails off. And then my father spent all our money on Christmas for everybody else, and we lost everything. We lost our home, and Daddy went bankrupt. Everything fell apart. But guess what? He was like, you know what? This is not for me. So he was homeless for a couple of years, sleeping on people's couches, but then he got it together. He went back to school. He got his education. He finished college, and then he became a therapist. He changed his life, and he lived in a beautiful home until he died. And so, yes, his jet black skin did not stop him. So from a Black person's perspective who has struggled with money for my whole life because of my choices, I know it's my choices that keep me here, not the color of my skin. That is how I feel.
And I agree.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. The thing that we all have is we have this thing right in here. We have this beautiful brain of ours. And it's the most fascinating instrument and can allow us to change our lives. But that the things that you can live with are the things that you will never change. So we have to think of, what is it? And for a lot of people, it's literally writing it out. My wife, Larissa, she's got a dream board. And she put on her dream board what she wanted her life to look like in 1 year, and in 3 years, and in 5 years, and in 10 years. You've got one. Yeah, I would say to everybody, don't don't get caught up in all of this. We realize we all have headwinds. Everybody faces headwinds. The success comes from the way that we decide we're going to address those headwinds and what we're going to do to change our own realities. And I want to say to everybody, you have the ability. Online, there are Ivy League colleges now that are offering Ivy League courses for little or no money. You can get a college education online these days, and it doesn't cost a lot. I went to Kaplan University for my financial background. It didn't cost a lot of money. It was a lot of hard work. I'll tell you, I was on the computer 10 hours a day for months learning this stuff, but it changed my life. I am a living testament that your careers are going to change, your priorities are going to change, but if you have the discipline and the desire to change your life, you can do it. I want everybody who's watching to know that.
And everybody, Lisa said, choice is access and opportunity. Exactly. And we all, because of these, if you have a phone, and most people, poor or not have one, have access and opportunity if you want it. You just got to learn that you can have it. You are worth it. You are worth it. You can do it.
If you don't have a computer, you can go to a library and use their computer to get this education. Don't feel like you're stuck. There are options for you. If you need professional coaching or you need a mentor, most cities have like I live in Indiana, you go to the Indiana website, there's a job force website to help people in the state get jobs and get trained. Those things are out there. Don't feel defeated. Don't feel like you're in a rut or that you're stuck. You do have options.
And I think it's all about mindset. And I think that sometimes they think because we're doing this, we might have this. I remember right before COVID, I was struggling on a real struggle, but my mindset changed throughout COVID, saying I won't ever be in this situation again. My finances increased exponentially. It really did. But it was my mindset that changed and said, I'm going to do all of it takes is discipline. Now that the world is open, of course, we're a little more free, but discipline did it. It was the mindset plus discipline that said, I can do it. And I won't stay in this situation any longer because it's what I want. Even if I have to lose time with people, I'm going to do what I have to do.
Shelly Shell gets the last word. Shelly Shell. Thank you, Craig.
You're welcome.
You, Shelly. Let's go on. We want to bring on Summer. So let's get this 3.5-minute break. Are we going to do commercials?
It's the PPC Radio Show.
Yes, we are.
Oh.
It's the PPC Radio Show. Hosted by Cinda Williams. Co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by All Night Long. DJ Kid Disco. On the Grown Folks Radio. WGFB FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Listen. You
So that was a
only
good conversation,
think
everybody. I hope I
Cinda
wasn't too
Williams,
strong.
Co-host of the PPC radio show
No,
and
we're
the
still live
Melanated
on
Morning
Facebook,
Show.
so if anybody
You've seen
has
her in
questions,
films
you can answer
with
them.
some of the
Yeah,
GOAT.
please do. If you have questions,
You may
please
have
answer them. Now's the
even heard
time.
her sing her way to the
it's
top.
just,
You don't have to
So when
judge
you
the
say
book
that
by
you
its
have,
cover. You can get
have,
the book and read it cover to
ways
cover.
to help
I'm
people
talking
with
about
credit,
Pink
or you just
Panty
give them-
Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Shell Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a bullseye view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Shelly Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night, but I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just a course for you. Please go to ShellyShellWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB-FM Radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the Get Down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio.
Let me clear myself. I am the legendary DJ Cool, and if I were you, I would keep my joint locked to Grown Folks Radio.com. They keeping you up on the latest everything out here. Don't forget the name, GrownFolksRadio.com.
PPC, 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 yeah. PPC, 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 yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you dare miss your blessing. These powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you, yeah. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. PPC,
Hey, Breeze.
Yes.
Can I just say hi to the people that are on my Facebook feed from the show?
Sure, please.
Shalina,
We can bring
hi.
Summer in.
Tina, hi. Christopher, old man, hey. Mike Larkin.
Hey, Christopher, old man. What's up, what's up?
Mike Larkin.
Hey,
What up,
Mike
dude?
Larkin.
T-Love, Tina, hey. Thank y'all for tuning in.
All right. Well, we're going to bring on Summer Hill 7 now. Craig, there are some more questions for you. If you don't mind, and everyone listening, after the show, if he'll go on my page or whatever page and answer those questions. If you don't mind, just put a little.
If I can, I'm also willing to talk to people on the phone, or if people want to send me an email.
Okay, so he'll at the end he'll give his information.
Conversations to be for the things that we're talking about, they require more than a couple sentences, you know.
So please, at the end he's going to put in the chat his phone number and way, and he's going to announce how you can contact him and ask him he'll do consultations. All right, please. Thank you so much. Summer, have you been listening, man, to all this heated conversation up here?
I've been enjoying it.
Good.
Well, welcome so much to the PPC Radio Show.
Thank you.
Summer, I'm sure that you could have added to that conversation and the transitions and that you've made in your life and savings and how you went from having a full-time job, being an attorney, to creating and all of that kind of stuff, and how you had to make that transition.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But first, let's get into you, who you are. Some people that watch the show listen to the podcast, but many don't. So please tell us a little bit about who you are, where you are, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I'm going to repeat the story that I told you because, they say if it's a lie, you got to stick with it. Any good lie, you got to say it again and again until people believe it. But it's mostly true. I mean, when I was 5 years old, Easter Sunday, I was walking with my mother, and we had just come from seeing the movie Superfly. I had on my Superfly inspired outfit, the marshmallow platform shoes, the hat, the suit, the whole Superfly suit. And I was in the candy store, and the lady asked me, "Little boy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I leaned way back, and I said, "I'm going to be a pimp." And my mother turned bright orange, snatched me out the door, and leaned back at the lady at the counter and said, "He's going to be a lawyer." And that's all she wrote. That's sort of my story at its beginning. And Eddie, right? DJ Eddie?
DJ Kid Disco.
I like that. You know what? That's my new name, y'all.
DJ Eddie.
Nah, it's DJ Kid Disco, but you can call me Eddie. We done broke bread before. We good.
Okay, cool. I was feeling you on your hood advocacy, right? Because that's my story. I mean, even as I stand here now at 55, that's where my story begins, right there in the proverbial hood. And so we have a saying where we come from, making $1 out of 15 cents.
Ooh, how often do I say that, Seabreeze? Almost every day.
Say that. Mm-hmm.
Try to make $1 out of 15. That's my life, brother. Try to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Precisely. And so this website, niggonomics.life.
Niggonomics.life. I'm writing it down.
Niggonomics.life. And what we do is we teach people how to get the first.
I need you to put that into the chat, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We teach people how to get the first 15 cents. See, everybody, you can learn anywhere how to make the dollar out of 15 cents. But the question that Eddie was asking is, how do I get that first 15 cents? And we know traditionally.
Exactly.
We have to be just really quite frank about this. And I invent words. I don't edit them out. So I like to use all the words. And the fact of the matter is, I'd say 90% of what we consider wealth in America was stolen from somebody, and it certainly was illegally gotten. Whether it was stolen or you sold an illegal underground product, 90% of what we consider to be above ground wealth, banks.
Ouch.
Okay, Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo, don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, but on the backs of slavery. So most of that 15% is generated through what is considered in the moment that it's being generated as an illegal means. Now, it may later become legal, like prohibition. Right now, Napa Valley is standing on people who survived through prohibition. They didn't shut down. They kept going. And you'll find that time and time again. And so, I mean, look, Jay-Z. I mean, right? I mean, everywhere you look, you're going to see crime. Now, my particular story, and that's really all I can vouch for, because here's what I say, Craig, and you'll appreciate this right away. There isn't any one way to live life. There aren't any 10 methodologies that work. We're in an age where there are 7 billion ways to play this game. Find your own. And if you're in the business of letting other people tell you how to live your life, there are plenty of people in the business of doing it.
Mm.
And so until you accept your own ability to manifest with your own tongue, and I won't even say words because sometimes it's merely sounds, your own direction, what feels good, then you'll always be comparing and measuring. And that's not where the juice of life is. The juice of life is in the experiencing of it, the feeling. Right now, what we're doing right now feels beautiful. It feels wonderful to be with people who love one another, who care about not just their own success, which they've been experiencing, but now they're reaching out to people, say, hey, listen, don't suffer, go this way. I don't know how I got on this platform, but I'm going to step down off my soapbox now, Cinda. See what you did? See what you did? I don't know what
I
love it.
You have that voice that you want to listen to. I'm like, sometimes you're like, wait a minute, speak again, say it again, say it again.
It's that charisma, but it's the truth too.
CC, I told you this was going to happen.
You're lying.
I told you this was going to happen.
You did?
When I heard this brother last week, I said, I see where this is going to go next week. Remember I kept saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So,
I want to share, though, Cinda. I do want to just share this because this is dedicated to all the Black men in America that have not and may not reach the age of 40. That's hang time. It's really my big mission. I work with the Equal Justice Initiative. I'm sure we all are aware of Brian Stevenson's amazing work that he's doing. We raise money for their organization through our wine business, wine.poemity. But here's our basic tenets. I believe that power is best used to control my own actions. I believe in exercising power over myself before someone else needs to intervene. I believe in the power of words to change things from what they are to what we want them to be. The words we read, write, speak, and think are the words that reveal to the world that we are. I believe that great relationships are the result of an ongoing and profound conversation with someone that you unconditionally accept. I believe that time does not equal money. I believe there's only one time of day, right now. I believe there are only 2 amounts of money, enough and more. I believe that differences in race, gender, political ideology, philosophy, and lifestyle matter and manifest life's greatest opportunities. The extent to which we ignore, minimize, marginalize, and fear these differences is the extent to which we diminish any possibility for personal and community growth.
So what you just said is, I respect 100%. And what, for all of the listeners that are out there, the man you just listened to, it goes back to what I said earlier. The key to changing everything in our own personal lives, the things that we have control over, it all starts with education. This gentleman is a lawyer, which requires a graduate level degree. And it requires work and it requires discipline. But what I'm seeing on the screen is that you have got the things in your life that you've acquired that you need to lead a fulfilling life and for you to have the dialogue with all of the people who listen to you. And that is something that we all need to embrace. What is it? We all may have the ability to make a difference in other people's lives, but do we have the ability to do it in a way that's productive, that people are going to prick up their ears and lean forward and listen versus go, whatever. And that's what you've got, and that's what you've achieved. So anybody who's listening, realize your destiny is not predetermined when it comes to what you do in this world. You've got things that you can accomplish, and you just need to ask yourself the hard questions. What is it that I want? How is it that I want to run my life? And how am I going to get there?
And that's it right there, Craig. That's it right there. See, ask the person who can answer the question. Yourself.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I was
ask
over
the
here
person who can
taking
answer
my
the question.
vitamins.
Yourself.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
I was over here taking my vitamins, as I call them. Brother, let me ask you a question, and I'm not trying to be a smart ass. This really went through my head while I was taking my vitamins. Has anybody ever told you, real talk, that you sound and the way that you speak, even the tone of your voice and the way that you speak and the words that you say and the manner that you say them, have you ever been compared to KRS-One? I'm dead serious.
That's funny. Man, what a compliment that is.
I'm dead serious. No, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm dead
He's
serious.
one of my big inspirations. He's really one of my big inspirations, and he's got his whole thing that, I certainly would love to have a conversation with him at any point. But no, you're the first.
Really?
I'm
surprised.
Ever said that?
Y'all have the same mannerisms, the same speaking tone, the same speaking mannerisms.
Yeah, I enjoy and I learn a great deal from KRS. I learn.
So, Summer, can you please tell us about Poemity?
Sure. So Poemity, if you'll allow me, I think I wrote something about it in here in one of these books, and I think I wrote something for just this kind of thing. Here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So this is Squircula. I love Pink Penny's confession, by the way.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. And I am looking forward to reading your stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here check this out. Here's what we say here. This is Squircula, by the way. The revolution is poemity. Poemity is often articulated as poetry mixed with comedy, tragedy, mystery, and poverty. See that, Craig? Without poverty, you can't have poemity. And that obviously I intended it that way, but I want to pause on this because of the prior conversation. See, what people don't often acknowledge is the advantages of poverty. And that's something hopefully we'll share a little bit later. And it's spoken to a rhythm and a beat. That definition is the beginning of a conversation that has the aim of leading a literary revolution that touches every aspect of human communication. Poemity recognizes that every syllable uttered by humans is in fact a poem. Why? You may go to any open mic venue or location where people gather to hear poetic words spoken, stand before them and utter any syllable, sit down, and wait only moments before the room will fill with wild applause for your utterance. Why? Why not? To my ear, most sounds are beautiful. The sound of fingernails scratching on a chalkboard is a notable exception. Perhaps the ugliness we hear in words is supplied by our own imagination, and the beauty is complementary. So let's just pause right there. Let's just say that the words are simply sounds that we imbue with meaning, and the meanings that we imbue are evolving, changing. They're relative to who we're speaking to, like bad meaning good. All of those things. And so poemity really is the art and science and the study of human noise in various different contexts.
Okay. I like that.
Was awesome.
Yes, I like that.
That was ocean floor deep.
And what you were saying about poverty, I was just saying to someone else. And maybe before we started the show, I was saying that if not for the need to strive, I would not have thrived, because I would be too comfortable in what's easy. So those that come into this world with a lot of wealth, in a way, I feel sorry for them sometimes, because They are so comfortable. They never have a need. All their desires are met, so that oftentimes they feel empty because they don't have to live. Struggle equals life. Challenge equals growth. You cannot grow without challenge. And people that have climbed out of poverty respect it, enjoy it, and are more fulfilled than those that were given everything.
Perspective is a gift, right?
I'm sorry?
Perspective is a gift.
Yes.
Absolutely correct.
Yes.
And I'll answer that for you, Seabreeze. We were talking about that this morning, remember? We were talking about the Blues giving everything and the Reds giving nothing, and neither one is really giving anybody anything.
Right.
That's, yeah, same thing.
You have to, Lisa said, discomfort is motivation.
There it is.
It is. It's just like, you know, I'm going through some changes right now because I say I want all these things. I want this, I want that, I want this. And then my girl here, Lisa, who's participating with us today, she gave me something to think about, and she said, try this prayer. And Shelly, you would like this. She suggested that I write my prayer to God. I write all these things. And the next day when I woke up, I heard it within my spirit and with every cell of my being. It said, all those things that you say you want, you can have, but you can't have it there.
Yeah, you can have it all, just not all at once.
There it is. There it is, Craig. You don't want all the food you're ever going to eat in one day.
Right.
One of the things that really helped me out, and this is something that I think your listeners should take to heart.
Our listeners.
Yeah, our listeners. There was a long time in my life where the company I kept meant that I was generally the smartest person in the room. And that's a problem. If you find yourself in a social situation where you are always literally the smartest person or one of the smartest people in the room, guess what? You're keeping the wrong
room. Yeah.
I always say that if you're the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's the saying that everybody's going to surround yourself with the right people. I get it.
Yeah, but it's the hardest thing to do because, again, you find yourself in habits, you find yourself with people, and a lot of times it really takes an objective view of looking at the people that are around you and asking yourself, is this person, I mean, I like this person, I love this person, whatever, but is this person dragging me down or is this person accenting my life? What is going on with that? And I'm not saying that every adult relationship should be transactional, because it shouldn't. But when you're actively trying to improve yourself, we are the product of our environment. And we are also the product of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So those people who are close to you, you have to understand that they are affecting you. And if you've got people around you who are a negative or they bring negativity into your life in any other way, you have a decision to make. Are you going to be able to visit with them and be heard to hopefully express your views and have them go on a journey, or do you need to separate?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny, Craig. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows these people, but forgive me if you do. But I was thinking I'd love to have been a fly on the wall of the Bill and Melinda Gates divorce conversation.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
You know, I mean, I've only been divorced once. I'm trying to, you know, get my numbers up. But
what, you want to be divorced 5 times? What?
You know, I mean,
what does that mean?
It's a part of the joy of life. You see, these are things that are available to you. You know, I mean, right? We're having this material, physical experience. I didn't come here to be a saint or a spirit. You know, I came here to be a flesh and blood, tear shit up kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? And so I wonder though, you know, why do you? Because on the heels of the earlier conversation we're having, they got all the money. okay, between Bill and Melinda. They got all the money. So at what point do you say, okay, well, I don't want to be, as you say, Craig, what we're talking about, I don't want you to be in my five fave anymore. You're out of my favorite five circle. Because, I mean, that's really what divorce is. It's like, I don't have to talk to you every day now or something.
Oh, that sounds cruel. Listen, I looked into my life and I find that you're not smart. I can't be with you anymore.
Right.
Listen, I find that you're bringing my intellectual level down. You got to go. No, I'm just playing. Is that how the conversation?
Right. I can't keep coming home to dinner being the smartest person at the table every night.
And personally, if you're not getting education, you gotta go out my life. You're not in here.
Well, let me say something about. So if we're talking about marriage, for instance, one of the biggest pieces of financial advice I ever give people is to marry the right person. Because if you get divorced, you're going to get set back 10 years financially, period. I mean, between losing joint assets, between paying for attorneys, going into debt, having to set up a new life on your own, marry the right person. Marry somebody that you know that you can do life with. Marry somebody.
Well, keep a personal stash. Every time you get paid, this is my just in case I get divorced stash. Here you go. This is my divorce stash. Here it is. Craig, can you make sure my money grows up here just in case I get divorced? I'm going to put $100 a week aside just in case I get divorced because I ain't sure whether it's the right person or not.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, though. If you have a question like, am I going to get divorced with this person? If you have a question about that, don't marry the person. I mean, when you get married to somebody, you expect that they're going to change and evolve over time and that you're going to support that and you're going to evolve together. But financially speaking, just from a pragmatic view, being divorced is not a good thing for financial security at all.
Coming from experience, because it's been more than once for me, Summer, say no.
Say no
if
what?
There's a question at all.
Yes.
Say no if it's a question at all about divorce. Just say no and be friends. Just say no and grow together because you can be in the same room and not be married.
Right.
Okay. And the other thing is what I have found in all of my relationships. I mean, first of all, every one of them, as much as I grew and I love every person that I've spent time with and respected them and prayed for them and loved them, I shouldn't have said yes. Because it was always the wrong reason, right? And typically it was that intellectual crap that pulled me in, okay? So it never was the money, believe me.
You like smart people. You always said that. You like
I do.
Smart people.
I'm attracted to brilliance. I'm attracted to smart people that can teach me something, but that don't mean I gotta marry them, okay? Or just because we had sex doesn't mean I gotta marry him either. I grew up. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. And, I'm not going to get into a religious conversation. But my point is, sometimes the person that you marry is because you're learning from them, you're growing from them. But eventually you might get to the point where you have learned all you're going to learn. And then it's divorce. So if that's all it's about, one of my number one mentors growing up, this woman, she was a teacher first. She wasn't that much older than me, but she was quite young when she started teaching at a college level. And we were super close, man. I thrived with her presence. I learned so much. But it got to the point where we were kind of peers. And it became uncomfortable because she still wanted to be this authority figure in my life, and she wasn't anymore. Because I caught up with her, but I was still growing. I left that place and I was still growing. You know what I mean? And I still wanted her in my life. She didn't want to be in mine anymore. Because can we skip the break? Do we have to do it? Because we just got past our time, Eddie, with
You're liking this a lot. So there's a word for you, Cinda. You're a sapiosexual.
Yes.
Is that what that's called?
Yep.
Sapiosexual.
Yes.
That is somebody who is attracted to someone based on their beautiful mind.
Absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
So keep that in mind. That's what you are. You're a sapiosexual.
Come on, Sapio. But then again, she said she learned now. She said, wait a minute. She said,
oh yeah, that is definitely who I was.
I need more than that Sapio stuff.
Yeah, I definitely was. But for me, to be honest with y'all, I mean, we're gonna do the sex show next Tuesday night.
Can I be on that one?
Dark. That's Melanated After Dark. We're gonna do that. But for me, it's definitely about what you've learned, you know, what a person can teach me that draws me in. There's more to two people than just that. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't equal marriage. That's what I've learned. Just because somebody's smarter than me doesn't mean I need to marry.
I need somebody funny. I need somebody funny and fun.
Well, that's always the first two. They
Funny,
can't
fun,
just
smart.
be smart. They got to be funny and smart. Yeah, that's why I always like comedians. My number one crush was Eddie Murphy as a child.
How do you ladies feel about polyamory? Yeah, polygamy, polyamory,
polygamy.
The whole thing, all the polys going around now.
You said the Polly want a cracker? Polly want more than one cracker. Polly want a couple crackers. But now
I Polly wants some cheese too.
Polly with some cheese.
It's such a conflict for me because I was raised about monogamy. That is what was instilled in me. You marry one man, you stay with that man till you die, no matter what. That's how I was taught. And obviously that is not what happened in my life. Because I ended up caring more about my sanity and my health than the relationship and that religion stuff.
Well, my friend, her name is Nikki Phelps. She's a therapist. She has a polyamory lifestyle. I have a friend named Mikhail. He has two wives, and that's the way he lives. And sometimes I'll be like, yeah, that might be the way to go. But I know that's not what I'm going to do. But sometimes it seems very attractive, and it seems like a very fun thing to do to have more than one.
Well,
so you want more than one husband?
I said it looks attractive. I'm not going to do it because of religion's sake. But when I think about it, I look at it and I really enjoy what they're saying to me.
So would you be in a relationship with another woman and a man or two men? Well, and let's just set aside any objections. Let's just say we're all doing it now, Craig.
This conversation is evolving quickly.
It's like, hey, Craig, it's Eddie, it's like the vaccine. We're all doing it now. So let's just say we're all doing it.
No. First of all, I can't afford the one I got. You doing too much, bro.
No, I'm telling you. Listen, my friend Michael, who it has a TV show, and it's really big. The whole life is big. It's a really big thing, and now I have to bring him to you one day. But he has two wives, and they really get along. Like just last weekend, they're in Miami, both of them, and they're on Ray J's ship, and they're having fun, and he's in the middle of both his wives, and then when he gets in the bed, both his wives is there in the bed, and it's like,
and it's a whole big community. I live alone, and that feels crowded. Okay, I cannot imagine like sharing a bathroom with another human being at this point in my life ever again. But I mean, when I was younger, I thought, yeah, and I more or less live that way. But now it seems more like, listen, the world has changed. And when we talk about some of these economic issues, well, certainly you bring together 3 incomes in a single household, and now you're putting together some pennies and you can make some things happen. So from an economic standpoint, I think they're on to something.
I think that if you're doing it for economics, then marriage, okay, that makes sense. But if you are just interested in knowing a variety of people and you are fed by more than one person, then don't get married.
No,
just be single.
That's right.
And be filled and with love, with this friend is brilliant book smart. This friend is a life smart person.
Exactly.
This friend is just spiritually connected. You can learn so much. I'm not talking about sleeping with people, a bunch of people. I'm talking about there are different, if you're in a relationship and you expect that relationship to be the sole way you're fed, you're going to be disappointed and it's not going to work. You have to have more relationships, just one. It's not fair to ask one person to take care of your every need, and you can't take care of their every need. So it's important to have not a multitude, I won't say that, but a few sources of, for me, I call my girl Monica Rose when I have a spiritual quandary and I need someone that's completely, thoroughly understanding of the Bible. I call my sister Monica. If I want to talk to somebody about old times or whatever, I call my brother Hassan. I have my friend William Lee. I have my friend Lisa Rose. I have Sean. I have Eddie. I have all these sources of people. So I am never truly alone. Yes. And all of them are a phone call away, but they're in my life, in my spirit, and I have visions about them. So for me, that's just the way to be healthy.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Shelly Shell, what you say? Absolutely, I agree, Cindy, 100%.
I agree with you, and I have all those relationships too, and I get it. But I also, because I'm a person that has an open mind, I'm not doing it, but because I'm a person who has an open mind, I spend a lot of time with the people who are in poly. I don't know why. They're my close friends. So listening to what they're saying to me is different. She said the answer is you have a mother and a father. I'm just going to paraphrase what she said. She says if you have a mother and father, you have to love them equally. Who's to say that you can't love two human beings that are two men equally? She said, why do you have to divide your love? I love my husband and I might love my I don't know what you would call that person, the other person too. And she believes that there's room for everybody, and you don't have to make a choice. Why do I have to have you or you? Why can't it be both? Why do we have to make these choices that say, hey, I just want you? You can have it all. And that's so when I look at that, sometimes I'm like, it might be interesting.
Give it a try, Shelly Shell.
Huh?
Give it a try.
I'm a Christian. I guess I can't do. I think that's the only thing holding me back.
Become a Black Israelite. You can do it.
Can I add something to the conversation? I too have met a lot of people who are doing the polyamory thing. There are people in my circle who do that kind of thing. I think that no matter what, it's got to be 100% open communication, because if you've got one person thinking one thing, that the relationship's this and it's really that, that's going to be difficult. When the physical part of it becomes part of the equation, then it's even more important to be open communication wise, because there can easily be misunderstandings, and we have to be careful about that. And David Bowie said something really, really interesting that I totally agree with. He said that the process of aging is this remarkable thing where you finally become the person you were always supposed to be. And as I've gotten older, I'm going to be 62 this year. I reflect on my life when I was younger, and I was a naughty boy. I was a very eligible bachelor. I was chased a lot, and I indulged those things because I was able to. But now as an older person, I realize if I knew going in that the person I was seeing or whatever was not going to be in my future, I wish that I had been honest with them and said, let's just be friends and not let the other stuff become part of things, because attachments happen and expectations happen. And if I knew in my head the entire time that there's no reason for anybody to have expectation because it's not going to go anywhere, it's my responsibility as that person I've grown into to let them know that it's not going to be what they want it to be. So finding people that you can date and be with, that's important. But ultimately, when you find the right person, they'll realize, that you can't provide everything, and you would want to encourage them to have friends and people in their circle that fulfill them. My wife told me something really interesting the other day, and I have a brilliant, brilliant wife. I'm so lucky to have her. When we were talking about our own personal relationship, when we met, I didn't have what I have now. I was working towards it. I was striving towards it. But she said, women who marry for money, they pay for it for the rest of their lives. And it's true. It is true. And in our relationship, we've grown together and become successful together. And again, that perspective is a gift. We came from struggle and we came from lack. And now we're at a place where we don't have that. And we've given that to each other. So again, marry the right person, be with the right person, be with the person who you understand to be the one who is going to fulfill you and encourage you and understand that you're going to grow. And that's expected and that's going to support you always. And there will be other things that happen. Like here's another thing. My wife and I, we always talk about this. If something ever happened to me or my wife, what would your life look like? What would you want to do with yourself? Assuming that we come out of it intact. And we always talk about
and that's why I say maybe it is one person that you'll find and be happy with, or two. Or maybe you should just really figure out you.
Yes.
Because
that's it. I think that's it. Good.
You got to figure out you. Like Summer was saying. Summer's like, I don't want to share a bathroom right now. And once you know who you are and you're comfortable there, and if a 1 comes or a 2 comes or whatever, you're cool because it's you. You're happy. You're happy with you. You don't need a wife or a husband to fulfill you because you're a whole being already. You don't need to be made whole. You are whole. And it's just 2 whole beings, 3 whole beings, 4 whole beings, depending on what country you're from, dancing together and alike. They're all whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole.
Whole. We're gonna be whole. I think that's what COVID taught me a lot about myself. Like I know I was getting along to get along. Like I'll do things that people want to do. And now I'm just in that place where I don't want to do that. I'll do that. But I'm really choosing what I want to do now. But I didn't do that before. I'm like, oh, you're going there? Sure, I'll go. You want me to go camping? Now you know I don't want to go camping, but I did it. No, sure. You want to go? I'll go. And I'm like, am I really having fun, or I'm just having fun for someone else because they're having fun? I'm bringing you the life, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather be in a hotel with a pool and a jacuzzi. but I'm going to get along. So now I just want to do what I want to do, and I think that's where my mind is now. And some people are like, well, you're not there. No, I don't want to do this. I just want to do what I want to do.
So you don't like camping, but you like glamping. You know what glamping is?
If it has some room service, some nice
glamour camping.
Glamping. I know they say glamp, but I don't want to be outside, period. That's the whole point. I'd rather be in the hotel with the hotel pool that's an inside and it has a jacuzzi. I want all of that. I don't want to be outside.
Yeah, so if you know yourself and what you want, you're always going to make good decisions. When I was a young man, I was not looking for Miss Right. I was looking for Miss Right Now.
When did you meet your wife, Craig?
We've been together 16 years.
So how old were you then? I was 50.
I was 40. Late 44.
Late 44.
Mm-hmm.
So you were a Playboy gigolo up into the very end, to the bitter end. You didn't miss any days. You're like, okay, I got 2 more days to retire. Okay, I think I can.
I was a very cosmopolitan bachelor. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to get into too many details.
You stole all your stories.
So I'm gonna give y'all the hood verse. I was a hoe.
You rock 3 freaks after every disco.
Pretty, yeah. I was.
But it's interesting when Larissa came into my life, and I met her, and I saw the wonders that she brought as a human being. It was like, I have to investigate this, and if I don't, I'm never going to forgive myself.
Well, that's this thing that they say. How you get a good man? You wait until he gets old and slow, and then you capture him.
Are you saying old and slow? Is that what it is?
That's the new school philosophy. I heard it somewhere, bro.
I like it, but I don't like it in that end. I like the one because when they get old and slow, they come with a whole bunch of ailments and stuff. But it's true. We gonna wait to the end. Now you want to lock us down. Now you got all the ailments in life, and it's like, wait a minute. I could have had you when you was up and chipper, but see, Craig is fit. You know what I mean? Craig is fit and he's active. He don't have all those ailments.
I don't. So I feel like, as in my relationship, I owe it. My wife is much younger than me, and I owe it to her and to myself to stay as physically vibrant as possible. But it's just so interesting when you meet the right person, when you're whole, like Cinda said, when you're whole and you love yourself and you understand your place in life and you understand what you're trying to accomplish, and that's when the right person comes in, when you're not looking. It's exactly what happened to me.
That's how I met Cinda.
Yep. And then when that happens, that's magic. That's life affirming. And I've been in 16 years of marriage with Larissa. And she told me the other day, she says, our marriage is like a 16-year romantic comedy. And, I was just like,
I don't see that. You guys, y'all got that syrupy sweet ass stuff.
We
Y'all
do
ain't
have
got
that
no
too.
tripping over nothing. Y'all just.
That's who the writers are, Cinda.
I know I don't see everything, but I don't see a whole lot of in romantic comedies. Usually, there's a lot of falls and a lot of heartache before you get to the romance.
Yeah, we laugh a lot,
is allowed. But
We
you
laugh.
guys,
Yeah.
you guys are
They got
happy.
a fairy tale. They got a fairy tale now. They got a.
You the poster child for marriage. You and Marissa, y'all got a poster child for marriage. You're just poster children.
We love that. I mean, that's the way to live your life. We don't have the questions,
True. I'm ready for that. I'm totally ready for laugh, kiki all day, all long. Because I don't understand what there is to not laugh about. I'm trying to find a thing that ain't funny. What ain't funny? I don't know. I don't get it. It's
all fun. It's all just life. And I think you're more able to be that way when you're older because you realize that there's always going to be struggle. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be hurdles. So why just get pulled down into the depths of darkness when you're having it? Because you're going to have it and you're going to get through it. If we're all sitting here, we have all gotten through. We have all made it this far. So why spend way too much energy being sad about the decision? Okay, I'm eating peanut butter and jelly today. That's all I have. But it's freaking peanut butter and jelly. Thank you, Lord.
That's
you know
what
I'm saying?
A bird crapped on my head at the beach the other day. And you know what? At first I screamed, but then I said, the girl came by with some baby wipes. Right at the same time, the bird crapped on me. And I said, God, thank you for sending the angel to get the crap out my hair. But, you know what I mean? I said, but I thought about it. I was like, it was nasty. It was.
It's all perspective.
It was. I was like, she was an angel. She's like, you're lucky now. Let me get this out your hair. Let me give you these baby wipes. And I was like, God bless you, angel, because I was having a little problem.
That is what the poemity meant to me. When you explained it on the podcast, it was taking, and that summed up the theme for me, was you take what's hard, and you make it bloom, you make it happy, you make it smile, and you make it light. Because you're not living if you're not feeling and experiencing, getting crapped on. You're not living.
And let me give you what do they call it? Just a plug. Let me just do a plug. There's some synonym for this. My philosophy of acting and thus life transcends anything that resembles philosophy. It is now about what I do and not merely what I think. I experience happiness with a smile. I experience thought with a word. I experience life with action. I act, therefore I am. That's it right there, Cinda. You see, it's the act of experiencing the bird shitting on your head, being present to it. That's that. And how long before you were able to start laughing?
Soon as she gave me the baby wipes.
Exactly. Soon as I knew it wasn't gonna run into my mouth.
Oh my God.
Soon as that feeling of it was dripping, I was like, once she got it off of me, I was like,
wow.
No, it was a lot. I can't even lie to you. It went from my hair down my back. It was a lot.
Can I tell you guys a funny story? I have a similar experience. I was going on it, this is before I met Larissa. I was going on a date. I got myself all put together, go on this date. And I walk out to my car, literally from my front door to my car was maybe 30 feet. I walk in my car, it's like February. I go to open the car door and I get hit in the head with this cold giant thing that exploded all over my head and all over my car. It was a goose poo that the goose was flying over. And when it hit my head, it was frozen or semi-frozen. And the outside was frozen, but the inside still had a nice, creamy, warm center. And it hit me on the side of the forehead and it ricocheted off onto my windshield. It was the most embarrassing. And I had to call the woman, you know, I had a date, I had a time. It was like a dinner, and I had to readjust everything and start from scratch because this goose poop was everywhere.
You had to say to her, excuse me, this may sound a little off. I'm not trying to put you off. I really am coming.
I was like, you're not going to believe this, but yeah.
That's squircular. We call that squircular, Greg. That's squircular. That's squircular.
Squircular. You do have those words. You do have a few words you made a squircular, huh?
That was squircular. The thesis is life is always perfected. So, I mean, imagine the odds of getting hit with frozen goose poop.
No,
think about that. I mean, nobody has that story. I've never heard that story.
No one.
Okay?
That's all you, Greg.
That's wealth. That is wealth. That story right there. I mean, that's a scene that is. You can do so much with that.
If I could only recreate that in a movie, because my wife and I we do comedy. So
why can't
you do that?
One time, I was going through yet another struggle because I've lived such a life. I mean, Summer, you're reading just the tip of the iceberg. I've had so many things happen in my life. It's just insanity. And my very first boyfriend, who I was with for quite a while, who knew me very well, and we were more friends than anything.
Oh.
He said to me when he called to check up on me out of the blue a few years ago, and he said, so what's going on? And so I started telling him about the current stuff. He goes, you know what? You have written the most phenomenal story for your listeners and your guests. This is before radio, this is before any of this. He said, you know you're creating all this, right? So you have stories to tell. I was like, is that what I'm doing? Is that what I'm freaking doing? He said, but don't you have stories? Don't you? I said, I have so many stories. I can almost, any comment, anything you bring up, I could probably have a story about it because so many things have happened in my life. He said, you've done that. You attract those stories so you can tell them to others and help others. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I said, all right, I'm glad you think it's beautiful.
It is, truly.
So
you know,
write your book.
Storyteller. You got to have stories.
Your books, write your movies, tell the stories, and get whatever you want in life. Because you know what? We just said you can have anything you want in life. You just got to go get it.
That's
Life
right.
is always perfected, Cinda. You have all the stories. You have the wealth of stories.
And we all do.
Yep.
You know, it's just being able to take a step back. I on the podcast, when I did my little parts, did a little insights or whatever.
I loved it.
I told the story about how when my daughter and I were in Orlando and things just were not what we expected. It was just, I was feeling, I am not a person that gets embarrassed about things. I take things as they come most of the time, but my daughter means so much to me that it affected me in a negative way that we were going through some of the things that we were going through. But then we were sitting on this bench and we were in front of the hotel that we could no longer afford because it had doubled in price. We did not have a reservation. We did not know where we were going to go. We did not know how we were going to get there. We did not know what we were going to do. And I was crying. I had tears flowing down my face. And my daughter had her shoulders all humped. And she said, you know, Mommy, I've just learned not to expect anything, so I never get too hurt. And that just totally broke my heart. And I said, all right. I looked at her, I said, Sophie, look, drying up these tears, baby. If we're gonna walk these streets, people watching, laughing, we're gonna figure this out. We are not gonna waste these last couple of days that I have with you. I don't know when I'm gonna see you again. It'll be soon, but not soon enough for me. But we're not gonna spend our time sitting here crying about it. We are gonna have fun. Even if we got our bags walking through Orlando streets for the next 2 days, we are gonna have a good time doing it. And it completely shifted the energy, it shifted everything. And we started having fun, and we started seeing things, and things started working out, and we started getting help and things, but we had to shift the way we were seeing it, and we had to accept, okay, this is not what we wanted. We've learned from this, but now we are going to accept it and be happy right where we are. And that is when things shifted. And if they hadn't shifted and we were sitting on that bench 24 hours later, we'd still be sitting there laughing.
There it is. There it is. Esther Hicks, one of my most favorite people ever, says 17 seconds.
17 seconds. 17 all it takes.
The whole whatever thought you want. And I always say to people, why would you spend any second talking about anything you don't want when they're limited? Okay. Seconds are, per year, if you do it that way, you get 8,760 hours a year. So why did you spend any of those hours focused on anything you don't want when you got 8,000 hours? Mostly want to say, okay, what is it do I want right now? And mostly a smile is a good place to start when you don't know anything, or just focusing on breath, right? Yoga, all those good things. I mean, I think we're in a world where the youngest of children appreciate these ideas like yoga and breathing. Like what did your daughter say? You see, she was totally there, and she's like, it's the expectation that is creating the discord. When you let that go, then you have nothing but possibility. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, Cinda. I loved it.
It absolutely is. It's all in our minds.
There it is. And that's where that 15 cents comes from. See, and that's what, when we talk about tying into our earlier conversation about the ill-gotten gains, well, the scarcity mentality, right? The scarcity mentality of, oh my God, I'm not gonna, there's not enough. I gotta take yours. I gotta drives us to criminal enterprises, right? We feel like we gotta steal or do something. When you accept that you're the source of your power, right? Which is a bit sophisticated for sure, but we're certainly born with it. I mean, I watched my son. He never didn't think that he needed anything. And so there's this sense of it's all in me. And if I just am still, I can attract it to me. And it's not about what you have. Am I hungry right now? If I'm hungry right now, where can I get food? Am I tired right now? If I'm tired right now, where can I find shelter? Those kinds of basic human instincts is what gives us our 15 cents, because our 15 cents is simply what is of value to you. Everybody doesn't value cryptocurrency. We're seeing how the market is sort of figuring out, even if they value it, right? The people who are buying it. And the Dow is down a little bit now. Everybody doesn't value stocks. Some people value crops. Some people value water. Some people value books, rare books, art, paintings, etc. That 15 cents is mostly about what do you value? And that's when I wrote Hang Time. The second book was asking myself, what were my core values? Not what I'd read in the Bible, what I'd read in the Quran, the Torah, all these other things from Buddha, all these things. What me sitting alone, what do I value? What do I value? And I wrote down 7 sentences. I put them all in 7 syllables. And the first one is, life is a game, play to win. That was the first perfect poemedy in Hang Time. That was my value. I said, you know what? Pretty much just a game. This is a game of making things that aren't so become so. If you're born rich, you might want to get richer, or you might want to say, I want to see what it's like being poor. If you're born on this side of town, you might want to see, well, let me see what's on this side of town, etc. Life is some sort of game, and whatever game that is, you get to decide which one you're going to play and the rules for you. That's all inside of that. And so by this time, I've already been a lawyer, Craig. I was in the middle of graduate school. I was already had played all these other people's games. So I had to figure out, okay, what's my game? My game is going to be poemedy. That's nobody else has got that game. It's just going to be me. It's going to be my little game. And, you know, I'm going to win every time. I'm going to win every time. And so that's that 15 cents, I think. I think that 15 cents is, what do I value? You know, what's really important to me? Do I like being in the cold, or do I like being warm? You know, do I like, maybe I don't know. That's a big part of education, I think, that is so attractive, is it acknowledges that you never know, you never get it done, you never figure it out. Learn how to learn. That was one of the perfect poemedies. Learn to learn and earn, and learn to earn. Learn to learn and learn to earn. That was another big one, right? Learn how to learn, because guess what you're going to be doing your whole entire life? Learning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're growing, you are.
Yeah.
You know,
and
people.
even if you're failing, that's called failure is learning.
Right.
That's trial and error. So trial and error is the learning part of it. So you're learning, even when the most ignorant person is learning whether they know it or not. So, but not everybody, Craig, is learning to earn.
No, you know what else is really interesting about higher education, and I found this out firsthand, is that there's hard intelligence, there's hard skills, there's you know how to work Microsoft Word, or you know how to work a QRS program, or something like that. But then there's soft skills. People skills are a big one. Emotional intelligence is a big one. And the one thing that I learned, especially when I was going to college, is that was my first real experience of having people of different cultures, different skin colors, different ways of looking at life, and different things like that, coming into my circles of education, working together on projects, and hearing and experiencing the way other people live. And it opened my eyes, and it helped me to become more tolerant and understanding of things that maybe perhaps were drummed into my head wrongly or falsely by the people in my family who never had that and had preconceived notions about what an Indian person might be like, or an Arab person might be like, or a Black person might be like. And when I found out that we're all just people, we're all trying to do our best, it expanded my viewpoint so much. And it's helped me in everything that I do, knowing that I have not just hard skills, but I think even more important are those soft skills of understanding people and accepting people, and trying to understand where they're coming from. And that's important for all of us, especially in the political environment and country that we live in right now, where things are so polarized. The way that we're going to come together really is through having better education and understanding people that way.
And on that note, it's time to start tying everything up, and because we're actually running into music time. We don't want to lose our music like we lost our commercial break. So first, Craig, please give everybody your information.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for everybody who stuck with the show and listened to it all the way through. It was a great conversation we had today. And there's a few things. First of all, for those of you who have financial questions, or need a little mentoring when it comes to that, you can reach me. I'm happy to talk to any of our listeners. You can reach me on the phone at 219-333-1460. That is my personal number that I'm giving to you. If you want to write me, if you feel more comfortable with that, Craig Engel, ENGEL at allstate.com. Please feel free to write me, and I'll do my best to answer your question to the best of my ability. And then the other thing is I am a filmmaker. Cinda is a co-star in the film that I recently created. It's doing very, very well on Prime. It's averaging 4.6 stars out of 5. It's called The Misadventures of Mistress Maneater. Right now we have about 2 million minutes streamed so far. We're trying to get that to 20 million minutes streamed. So please watch our film, rate it, review it, leave us some love. And I think you'll really enjoy it. It's funny and it's deep and it has a lot of great things going on. And we've been getting great reviews for it. So The Misadventures of Mistress Maneater, you'll find it on Amazon Prime, on Tubi, and IMDb TV.
All right, thank you. Shelly, did you want to tell us about anything?
I'm here, social media, Instagram, Shelly Shell Williams. And August 7th is the Save Single Summit. And if you want to know about being single and saved, check it out, August 7th. But all information, Shelly Shell Williams on Instagram.
Awesome, thank you. Summer, tell everybody how to contact you, and if you could put it in the chat later, and the names of your books and whatever you want people to know.
Great, Cindy. So first thing is, the book is called Squircular, and that's spelled SQUIRCULAR.com is the website where you can get it. You can get it on Amazon, get it anywhere. That's the book we were talking about. And the subtitle is An Actor's Tale. It's all about making the transition from being a corporate attorney to being a full-time performing artist, and deals with philosophy and all that. So that's the book. Now, the website, where if you're looking for coaching on eloquence or any of the things that we talked about, creativity, etc., is Poemedy. That's POEMEDY.com. And I'm going to give you my number also, since Craig raised the bar here. He's giving out his phone number. I'm going to be calling you, Craig, okay? You better believe it. My number is, see, Craig's married. I'm single. This is a very risky proposition.
It's still risky for me. Let's be clear.
786-445-4918. It's best to text me though. 786 is the area code. That's Miami. 786-445-4918. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me about anything we talked about. And then finally, last of all, but not least of all, we are selling wine at our website, wine.poemedy.com. And we're selling wine for philanthropic purposes. One of our biggest causes right now is the Equal Justice Initiative. And they fight against the death penalty and getting innocent people off of death row. So that's the real big thing we want to share with you, is our partnership with One Hope Winery. So I love this experience. And I don't know how I got to be the luckiest man in the world, but this day, 15 years ago, was when I found out that I was going to be a father, which was the greatest moment ever.
Birthday.
So, yeah, thank you. Really glad to celebrate that in this way. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I just want to say right quick, thank you so much to Robbie, Lisa Rose, for all your sharing, Earl, and everyone else that was with us today, and all of those that are going to watch later. Thank you so much for supporting the show and talking to each other. That's what this personal, powerful conversations, that is what this is about. And thank you so much for sharing with us. Also, I'd like to say Friday, I'm very excited to have Big Rube. Big Rube, if you don't know Big Rube, he is not from the original Dungeon family in Atlanta. and I've had a lot of amazing artists, and he's come on, and he'll be on with us next week. He'll be on with us next week, also on the PPC radio show. And we are doing Melanated After Dark Tuesday, second Tuesday, and we're talking about how to please her. And that's going to be with Shelly Shell.
Is that second Monday?
All right, did I say Tuesday? Monday, I'm sorry. Monday. First Monday, or the second Monday of the month. So that's Monica Gladney, Monica Rose, Shelly Shell, myself, and maybe Rashonda if she wants to join us. Eddie will find out about that. And the podcast this week, I said it. I think that's it. All right, we got Melanated After Dark next Monday. We got Melanated Morning Show tomorrow. We are really always having great shows here. And Eddie, did you want to say anything?
No, you always handle my stuff, girly.
Huh?
I said, no, you always handle my announcements, girly.
Okay. All right. Well, then you can take us out with some music, and thank you. Actually, let me remind, the chat that I'm talking about is the one that's on Facebook. If you could go in and type in your information on Facebook, you can go to our page. You can go to my page if you need to. Shelly and Eddie both posted, and they tagged me, so you can put your information on the Facebook, because that's where the people had questions. If you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking there right now, and I'm not seeing any questions. Where would I go?
It might have been too far back, so I'll
yeah,
share
you're
it
not
with
going to
you.
be able to see the past stuff until the Facebook feed is actually over.
Oh, Lisa Rose said the movie was great, and so did Robbie D.
All right, now I love the title.
You do?
Yes, I'm sending you my headshot, Craig.
Yeah.
Well, send it over. Watch my movie. Give me a rating. I would love to have an actual
right to
attorney
it.
review my movie with all of the eloquence and insight that you bring.
I'd be happy to.
I would love it. Please do. You're going to love it. It's a lot of fun.
All right. On to the music. God bless you all.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Cinda Williams, and you're rocking with my super producer, DJ Kid Disco.
So you can stop guessing if this is a gift or a written down memo. See, I am a professional. This is not a demo. In fact, it's a lecture, a visual picture, sort of a poetic in rhythm like mixture. Listen, I'm not dissing, but there's something that you're missing. Maybe you should touch reality. Stop wishing for beats with plenty bass and lyrics set in haste. If its meaning doesn't manifest, put it to rest. I am a poet. You try to show it, yet blow it. It takes concentration for fresh communication, observation. That is to see without speaking. Take off your coat, take notes. I am teaching a class or rather school, cause you need schooling. I am not a king or queen, I'm not ruling. This is an introduction to poetry, a small dedication to those that might know of me, they might know of you. And maybe a gang, but one thing's for sure, neither one of y'all can hang. Cause yo, I'm like an arrow, and Scott is the crossbow. Say something now. Thought so. You seem to be the type to only understand the annihilation and destruction of the next man. That's not poetry, that is insanity. It's simply fantasy, far from reality. Poetry is the language of imagination. Poetry is a form of positive creation. Difficult, isn't it? The point? You're missing it. Your face is in front of my hand, so I'm dissing it. code. Area code. Pros in different area code. Area code.
Now you thought I was just 770 and 404? I'm worldwide, act like y'all know. It's the abominable man. Globetrot International Postman. Neighbor dope man. 718s, 202s. I send small cities and states IOU. 901, matter of fact 305. I'll jump off the G4, we can meet outside. So control your hormones and keep your drawers on till I close the door and I'm jumping your bones. 312s, 313s. 215s, 803. I'll read your horoscope and eat some hors d'oeuvres. 10 on pump one, these is self-serve. 757, 410s, my cell phone just overloads.
I got pros. I got pros. In different area code.
This here is remarkable. So deaf. Remix. J.E. y'all. Run DMC to the beach, y'all. And me, y'all know my name. Come on.
First of all, I know these so-called players wouldn't tell you this.
What?
But I'ma be real and say what's on my heart.
Yeah.
Let's take this chance and make this love feel relevant. Didn't you know I loved you from the start? Yeah. What I think about